Looks like giant moths.
10 seconds.
Oh my gosh. Happy Wednesday, Rebels. On today's show, we have 2 live interviews in the studio.
In COVID-related news, Nevada's COVID-19 test positivity rate continues to fall since January 14th and dropped to 7.3% according to reports from Monday. The totals now stand at 4,967 deaths in Nevada and 3,871 deaths in Clark County. Nevada's 14-day rolling average is now 7 deaths per day. Daily case totals have dropped below 1,000 since January 30th. The Department of Health and Human Services reports over 600,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered here in Nevada as of February 28th.
We also take a look at the Texas mandate lift and learn about Nutrition Month. All that and more coming up on Studio G. Welcome back to Studio G, your source for Rebel News. I'm Lewis Anderson.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sydney Arpano.
Can you believe it's March already?
No, I can't. I feel like January just dragged on.
January and February, I think they went by really quick.
I know, but now it's March. I can't even believe it.
In recent news, Life is Beautiful is returning to downtown Las Vegas September 17th to 19th. Early bird tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m., so be sure to be ready. And an update on yesterday's story, a man dead inside of the largest Amazon fulfillment center in the state. North Las Vegas authorities are unsure of whether the man fell or jumped at this time. The investigation is ongoing and we'll keep you updated with new details as they are released.
Effective March 10th, 2021, businesses in Texas can begin operating at 100% and without masks. Texas is now one of 15 states without an active mask mandate. Studio G reporter Anthony Ramos tells us more.
On Tuesday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced that he is lifting the statewide mask mandate and allowing businesses to operate at 100%.
Effective next Wednesday, all businesses of any type are allowed to open 100%. Also, I am ending the statewide mask mandate.
In a press statement, Governor Abbott comments too many Texans have been sidelined from employment opportunities. Too many small business owners have struggled to pay their bills. This must end. It is now time to open Texas 100%. I had the chance to speak with Trinity Gilbert, a local Texas business owner who says that she feels it's just too soon.
I feel like the decision to do that was very premature. I feel like we don't have a lot of information about the vaccine. At least I haven't seen it as a whole. Like, nationwide, we need to look at all the numbers because it's like one person gets it, it just trickles down. So it doesn't matter if one state's doing okay or 2 states are doing okay. I feel like as a whole, everyone needs to be doing great in numbers. Like the numbers need to still be declining. And I just feel like, the masks need to stay on.
As a nation, the CDC still recommends that face masks be worn to slow the spread of COVID-19. For Studio G, I'm Anthony Ramos.
As for Nevada, Governor Sisolak has plans to hopefully have the state operating at 100% by May 1st, 2021. Keep in mind the state is tentative. For now, wear your mask and continue to practice social distancing to stop the spread of COVID-19 right here in our city.
Early Tuesday morning, a packed SUV and a semi-truck hauling 2 trailers slammed into each other in rural California near the U.S.-Mexico border. At least a dozen are dead and multiple injured from the crash. 25 occupants were traveling in a Ford Expedition. It is unknown if the SUV ran the stop sign, but the Ford Expedition entered the intersection in front of the semi-truck. The others involved are at multiple hospitals in California, with many in critical condition.
Coming up after the break, we check in with Jonathan for our weather forecast live on Studio G.
We all look up to someone. Could be parents, teachers, or coaches. They give and give and give, and then they give some more. Their impact, immeasurable. Their sacrifices, too many to count. So to all the mentors in our lives who helped us get to right here and now, thank you.
Good afternoon, Rebels. I'm Jonathan today with your weather. So today we're looking at a temperature of 64 degrees, partly cloudy, with a high of 69 and a low of 43, with winds at about 10 miles per hour. And then later tonight, we're going to be looking at 59 at our highest with a low of 43, mostly cloudy again, so it'll be a little chilly with a wind at 16 miles per hour. And across the Las Vegas Valley, what we're going to see is, mainly in the 60s, with the Northern Valley being at high 60s, Mid-Valley being at your mid-60s, as well as the Lower Valley. As for Monday, we've got sunny day with some wind at a high of 68 with a low of 45. We're looking at partly cloudy weather for Sunday with a high of 73 and a low of 48. Saturday will be also windy with 73 being the highest, 46 at its lowest. Friday, we're looking at another sunny day with a high of 73, 48 being the lowest. And Thursday, we're looking at another sunny day, 68 at the highest, 45 at the lowest. So across the week, it looks like we're going to have some nice sunny days. And that's all I have for weather for you today. And back to Sydney at the desk.
Thanks, Jonathan. Speaking of weather, here's a quick update on the power outage crisis in Texas.
This month, Texas experienced record-breaking power outages. Winter storms swept across Texas, leaving millions of homes without power over several days. All energy sources failed because of frozen equipment and pipeline breaks. The main sources being coal, natural gas, and nuclear power. The Electric Reliability Council of Texas, also known as ERCOT, proved to be unreliable in the winter storm. ERCOT reported purposely cutting power to homes to avoid long periods of time without heat or power to any one home. As a result, people froze to death. There's an investigation on how many people died from the power outage and why the grid failed. Texas residents have filed lawsuits because of receiving bills up to $9,000 even though they didn't have power. Since the historic blackout, 5 ERCOT board members have resigned, and yesterday an electricity provider filed for bankruptcy. Texas functions on its own power grid, meaning in times of blackouts, it cannot use other grids for support. Although power is back on for most Texans, many are still without water. More updates to come. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Jasmine Nguyen.
Thanks, Jasmine, for the update. Don't go anywhere. After the break, Vanessa is live in the studio with a free opportunity for students to get healthy, live on Studio G.
I'm always the first one up. I'm always up for a challenge. I'll overcome any obstacle. I don't believe in limits. I refuse to be average.
Yesterday, we talked about how March is National Nutrition Month, and something that goes hand in hand with making healthier decisions is staying active. Joining me today to talk about some ongoing and upcoming healthy events is UNLV PX instructor Micah Kidd. Micah, thank you for coming. Welcome.
Thank you for
You're
having me.
in true attire. You said you just came from a class?
I did.
All right. Well, thanks for running over. Okay, so let's talk about the Shamrock Run. What is it?
Well, the Shamrock Run is a virtual run. It's a 5K or 3.1 mile run that I originally designed for my PEX students that I wanted to open up to everybody, just as a way to both challenge them and sort of create a little bit of a sense of community while doing it.
Okay, so you said it was originally for your class. Is it open to all students now?
Anyone can do it. Anyone on campus is encouraged to participate.
Okay, and you said virtual. How does that work?
So it's a virtual run. What we do is we have an app, and you download the app and put it on your phone. When you get ready to run, you'll put in your earbuds, hit the run button, and it actually guides you through a kind of an immersive audio experience. So it tells you, for example, if there's someone that's just like 30 feet in front of you, it'll actually tell you like there's someone 30 feet in front of you, and it encourages you and motivates you in that way.
That's awesome. What a sense of competition. It kind of reminds me of like Mario Kart, where you can see them in the little circle. You got to catch it. So this isn't the only event you have planned. What else do you have coming up?
So at the end of the semester, my really big one is called the Diploma Dash, and we're going to really ramp it up with that. We're going to have guest speakers, former alumni and current faculty get on there and really pay tribute to the graduating seniors, and just motivate them to cross the line, and again, create that sense of community for everybody.
Okay, and so when does that one start?
That one I'm going to start on April 15th, and it'll run all the way to the May 15th, which is our commencement date.
And does it cost anything?
That one for students, that one will be free. If students register with their UNLV student email address, I will send them a code and they'll be able to run the race for free. For anyone else, it's meant as a bit of a fundraiser, and the minimum fee for them is $25.
Okay, and so how would they sign up again?
So for that one, you go to my Instagram page at PEX_UNLV, and you'll find a link tree there, and you'll find the links to both of those races there, and be able to sign up.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come talk to us. And coming up, we get some insight on the return of in-person learning, live on Studio G.
For generations, America's veterans have stepped up and made great sacrifices to protect our families and our freedoms. But today, with the COVID-19 crisis, many veterans are struggling just to get by. Thousands have lost their jobs or closed their businesses, leaving them unable to provide for their families or get the care they need. More than 50% are 60 or older. Many have disabilities and chronic health conditions. It's time for all of us to step up to help those who have given so much. At DAV, we've been helping America's ill and injured veterans for 100 years. But right now, the need is greater than ever. Give to the DAV COVID-19 Relief Fund and help us provide critical services and financial assistance to veterans who are struggling. Go to dav.org/helpvets or call now. Your donation will make a life-saving difference for our nation's heroes.
Starting on the 1st, CCSD elementary schools opened their doors back up. To young students, at least partially, Monday marked the start of a voluntary hybrid learning option that would allow pre-K to third grader students to return back to school for part of the week. Those students will return full-time starting April 6th for the final 2 months of their semester. Older students will return in waves starting March 22nd. Of course, schools are required to follow certain rules and guidelines and regulations, including mask wearing and social distancing. Jonathan will have an in-depth look into those decisions later in the week.
Welcome back into the studio. I am here live with one of our own rebels, Lily Ryan. Hi, Lily, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So you are part of the education program. So talk to me a little bit about your role as a student teacher.
So usually in your last semester of college, you end up being a student teacher. It depends what you're working with, so you could be elementary, secondary, or special education. I work in special education, which means for me, at the beginning of student teaching, I kind of observe my teacher, the teacher that I'm paired with, and then throughout the semester, I work my way up by taking her full workload. So pretty much, I think in about 2 weeks, I should be having a full caseload with all my students, and I'll be teaching the class full time.
Right. So obviously school's looking different, especially for us and for students. So how has the pandemic affected your way of teaching?
So obviously with it all being online, it can be a little bit difficult. The students have done a great job, but it's helped teachers in a way find better resources that they can use inside and outside of the classroom. The difficulties probably have just been the student's attention span and wanting to sit in front of a computer all day and learn, which can be a little bit difficult for everybody, even me, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to sit in front of the computer all day, but yeah.
You talk about keeping students' attention spans being one of the difficulties. What are some restrictions or other procedures that you have to follow when you do go in person for your teaching?
So I think it'll be in person. It'll be interesting when we go back because not all the students will be in the class. It's up to the parents to decide whether or not they want to send their student back to school. So regardless of whether or not you send your child back to school, they'll still be technically online, even if there's 2 kids in the classroom and then 8 kids online. So it'll be a little bit restrictive just because not much will change. You'll still be able to use your in-class resources, but you'll still be doing that face-to-face and online interaction.
So you talk about how either way you're still going to be in person. So what are your concerns when you have to go back to teach?
Originally, my biggest concern was not being vaccinated, but thankfully with the vaccinations rolling out so quickly, I was able to get my first one. So I'm very excited about that. Other than that, I think it'll be a little odd just to have the mask on and sit in front of the computer and still teach online. But I think it'll be good, like I said, to use those in-person resources that we don't have access to. So the teachers aren't in the classroom right now being able to use the books that they have or their smart board or whatever the case is. So once we go back, I think it'll be more beneficial than not. It'll just be a little odd.
Right. So we mentioned earlier how they're starting to roll out upperclassmen starting March 22nd. What are you doing to prepare to go back?
So for me, that just means collaborating with my teacher and then also the administration at the school. Thankfully, the school I'm at has been very helpful, giving us the knowledge and the information that we need to go back. The assistant principal especially, shout out to her, she's great. So just collaborating with them, figuring out what they need me to do to help them prepare, making sure that I have anything that I need to be safe, so masks, whatever the students might need, extra, whatever, just for them to come back and feel safe so the parents also feel safe sending their child back to school.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, Lily. Thank you for giving your insight as a student teacher. Don't go anywhere. Studio G will be right back after the break.
Always ready, always there. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
On tomorrow's show, we'll get a glimpse of the new Leaf building community, as well as how PHC is celebrating Women's Empowerment Week.
You gotta come see this!
This doesn't make any sense.
This whole little life you've made. This is chaos magic, Wanda. And that makes you the Scarlet Witch.
It's Friday. There was no other way.
This is our home.
Then let's fight for it. My name is Dr. Stephen
WandaVision
Strange,
fans
and I have
can
some
see
questions.
in the preview that the super duo will team up to save their home, while Doctor Strange fans jump out of their seats upon seeing the master of the mystic arts on screen for the first time in this realm. Do you like comics?
I do, but I haven't seen WandaVision yet. Do you?
It's really good. I've only seen 2 episodes so far, but I'm gonna catch up this weekend.
Do you like comics?
I love comics.
What's your favorite?
I would have to say, I think Injustice. Injustice was really, really good.
I've never even heard of it. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at noon for more Studio G. I'm Sydney Arpano.
And I'm Louis Anderson. Thank you for tuning in.